Zhang and colleagues followed nearly 200,000 participants for over 13 years. And during that follow-up, 1,075 participants actually developed rosacea. But what does it actually mean if French fries and vegetables are treated the same? Impressive sample size doesn't equal bulletproof conclusions. Hello everyone, I'm Willemijn Witkam, and I'm one of the new JEADV podcast moderators. And this month, I'll be delivering you the JEADV Takeaway. In this takeaway, we'll be discussing a very interesting article about plant-based foods and the risk on rosacea. It has some very interesting results, but also some very important methodological limitations which we need to take into account. Let's explore what we can and cannot conclude and what it means for your daily practice. Zhang and colleagues followed nearly 200,000 participants with an average age of 57 years old for over 13 years. And during that follow-up, 1,075 participants actually developed rosacea. During that follow-up, dietary patterns were assessed with 3 different plant-based indexes. One is the overall plant-based index, consisting of a healthy component and an unhealthy component. The healthy plant-based index consisted of foods rich in fibers and vegetables and fruits, whereas the unhealthy index consisted more of junk foods and foods and drinks which were high in refined sugar. Well, and what they found is a decreased risk of developing rosacea with the overall plant-based index of 16%. Then they also found a decreased risk or trend more, because it was not significant, for the healthy plant-based food index. And then for the unhealthy index, they found an increased risk of 12%. But now let's explore the important caveats in this study, which influences the results. So first of all, multiple testing. The authors conducted many very interesting tests, but they didn't necessarily correct the p-values for that multiple testing. When we did the standard correction for all of the tests, we found that only the overall plant-based food index was borderline significant, but the rest wasn't. So it's very important to always adjust for multiple testing when you want to explore several things, because you have a big risk of finding chance findings. Then, second of all, the biological paradox. So only the overall plant-based food index was actually significant. But what does it actually mean if French fries and vegetables are treated the same? The healthy food index, which actually distinguishes the healthy food from the unhealthy food, was not significant anymore. So it's quite unexpected and biologically implausible and really suggests spurious associations that are happening. Then, third is the unclear timing of the dietary exposures. Participants had an average of 2 to 5 dietary assessments during the whole follow-up, but it was unclear if the actual dietary assessments after the diagnosis were excluded or not, which could have resulted in reverse causation, meaning when participants actually get the rosacea diagnosis, they may have changed their diet. Then fourth, the healthy lifestyle confounding. Plant-based eaters also exercised more, had a lower BMI, and higher education and better overall health behaviors. While BMI was adjusted for, isolating the specific diet effects, especially in observational studies, is very difficult. Just adjusting for BMI is also problematic because it might function as a mediator. And a mediation analysis would have been more appropriate in this case. Second of all, could have also functioned as a collider, because BMI, in addition to the diet, is also influenced by genes and other unmeasured confounders. And not treating it as a collider, but by just treating it as a confounder, it may have resulted in collider bias, which is also problematic. Then, lastly, there was a huge selection bias. More than half of the sample, 270 participants, were actually excluded of the original population because they didn't have dietary data. This may have resulted in a healthier sample overall and an overestimation of particularly the protective effects. Then, taking into account these limitations, what can we conclude? Well, the study adds suggestive evidence that dietary patterns may influence rosacea, but it cannot clearly differentiate between junk food or vegetables. And we definitely cannot make conclusions about prevention of rosacea based on diets. So I want to end this podcast with 2 takeaways. The first takeaway is for the patients. When it comes to rosacea and diet, stick to the classics. Avoid the known triggers of exacerbations, such as alcohol and spicy foods, and consider advising on an overall balanced diet rich in fiber and vegetables and fruits, and lower in animal products. And not because this study proves that it prevents rosacea, but because it's good for your overall health and for the environment. It's also important to remember that up to today, we have no evidence that diet can replace therapies. So keep prescribing what works. Then second of all, and this one is for yourself, impressive sample size doesn't equal bulletproof conclusions. Look beyond the catchy title and abstract. Methodological details matter. Our responsibility as physicians and scientists is careful and honest interpretation, resulting in the best evidence-based practices for our patients. Thank you for listening. See you soon.